Hello everyone. Hello. I tell you what, these few minutes before midday comes round go like that. I sit there and go, I've got 4 minutes to go. What shall I do? And then I look at the clock and it says 12:01. So hello, welcome. Welcome to Watch Me Wednesday. This is my 4th Wednesday on the trot now. I did it lots last year, but I had a break, and now I'm pleased to say I'm still back, still here crafting with you live. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Natalie O'Shea. I may have come up on your Facebook feed, so you don't know who I am, and that's absolutely fine. I don't expect you to. I used to be famous in the craft world, not so much anymore, but that is me, and I am a Stampin Up demonstrator, which means that all the products that I'm going to use this afternoon are all from a company called Stampin Up. I use them because I love the designs of the stamps. I love that they use 50 colours and everything is in those 50 colours. So the pattern paper, the greens and the reds, they have a cards that actually matches that exactly, and the buttons and the ribbon and the ink and everything matches exactly. And that's what I was missing from my life for the first kind of 15 years that I was crafting. I had 200 sheets of green card and never one to match what I was doing. I don't have that problem anymore. That's completely eradicated. It's a whole like, yay! Don't have to worry about that anymore. It used to take me hours to get everything out to make a card, by which time my enthusiasm had wandered, and yeah, it took a dive. But I'm here, and I'm here to make quick cards. We are obviously in Christmas mode now. I know it's only October, and I know it's still weeks away. But yeah, I'm in Christmas card mode because this is when we kind of make them, isn't it? October, November. Some of you start in July. I know. Hi, Rachel. Morning, Jackie. So yeah, I haven't got a huge amount to go through today with regards to kind of news and things going on. Next week I will have, so next Wednesday we'll have a few details going on. And in fact, actually, yeah, I'll have loads to tell you because whilst there are a couple of things, the curvy bundle that I shared with you a couple of weeks ago, that goes live to you as customers next week. We've got our on stage event. So on stage is an event for Stampin' Up demonstrators. Normally happens twice a year. It's happening online this time. So next Thursday evening, Friday and Saturday. I think, did they say 10,000 demonstrators around the world had registered for the event. You can see you can see a pussycat. So we have a man in who is fitting a shower in the boys' bathroom today, which means the cats who are normally upstairs, well, one's just gone out again. The other one is all rolled up on my coat. And if you think I'm a bad cat parent because I don't have proper cat beds for my cats, trust me, I've bought my cats so many beds, they don't even touch them. So that is my coat. He is on that, quite happy. So that is where he is, out the way of the man doing the shower. So Rachel said, yes, that is my onstage box. You can't see it, well, you can see it, you can't see anything, everything is still inside it. What do I think? I think it's nice. I think it's very, I'm trying not to give too much away to spoil the surprise for other people. It's very bright and uplifting in these times. That's what I'm going to say. But I'm excited to see. I'm always excited to see what there is. So, morning, Vivian. Carol missed that because she was too busy looking at the cat. Oh my goodness, look at you all. Hi, Ali and Polo. Morning, Anne. Everyone's on. Gosh, have you got nothing to do this Wednesday lunchtime? I don't normally have so many of you on. But anyway, so what else have we got to do? So yeah, so next week you're going to have some Stampin' Up announcements, but I'm also launching lots as well. So I've got, so what should I tell you about? I'm going to do a buy one, get one free event. So I have done these before, and I do have a separate Facebook group. I'll go into it briefly, but I'm not going to go too much. That's going to be, I wasn't intending on telling you this, I think 15th of November, don't quote me on that. But middle of November, I'm going to do a buy one, get one free event, which is all my retired stuff that I have, you get to pick. So some of it's brand new, not used. Some of it is loved a couple of times, but not any more than that. And if you were here when I did this again in August, I want to say July, August time, and there'll be new stuff. So in July and August, I literally did some stamp sets and dies, and not a lot else. So I haven't done my punches, I haven't done paper, I haven't done ribbon, I haven't done embellishments, I haven't done any of that. And that's my plan to do that as well then. And all it means is if you spend £20, let's say, on my retired stuff, then you get to spend £20 in the catalogue for free on me. That's the buy one and get one free. So buy one out of my retired, get free out of the catalogue. But there is a Facebook group and it will all be housed in there. Perhaps I will, once I've finished this, I will add the link so that you can add yourself to that and you can join that. But I wasn't really doing that this week. But that's one thing that I'm doing in November. I'm doing a Christmas stamper stack at the end of November. You can see I wasn't intending on doing this. I'm so unprepared. So a stamper stack, so it's going to be a day. There will be crafting with me live on Zoom if you want to, or if you don't want to, then you'll just be able to watch the videos and craft in your own time. But we're going to be making 18 Christmas cards, all on a Saturday at the end of November. So again, I haven't launched details for that yet, but I will be launching details for that next week. So we could be here a while next week. So what have I got? Stamper stack, card club. So the monthly card club, that goes live as well. Gosh, there's lots, isn't there? Yeah, but I'm going to tell you all next week. But let's just say in November it's full on. Well, we're planning to have my card classes back here again for the first time, and we're kind of crossing our fingers. And there's only going to be, well, 4 and me, because we're only allowed a maximum of 6. But I can get people socially distanced around this table with 4 people and me kind of out the way. So we're trying to do that again, and we've all provisionally booked it in and crossed our fingers and hoped that Boris isn't going to change things for us here in the UK, but you know, who knows? We all need to be safe, better safe than sorry, so we'll go with whatever. But we did kind of go, should we do it? Should we do it? Because we've all been waiting since March to go, should we get back together again? Should we do our card class again? And every time you kind of go, oh, well, it'll be over soon. It'll be over soon. And it's so not over, is it? So, yeah, so we've kind of written it on the calendar and said, let's pencil it in, see what happens in the next few weeks. Otherwise, I'm going to have my first card class again since COVID started, 9th of November, on a Monday night. We used to do it every month. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So lots going on, lots of crafting in November. It's full on Christmas. And today I'm going to share full on Christmas as well. Hi, Margaret. Linda, I know your boxes are delayed in Australia. And I know that you're going to see. I have posted a photo on my Facebook page today, but literally of the box. I haven't said anything about the contents or anything. And I know it's going to be sad because if yours turn up after the event, you will see people that will share because that's what we do. But sorry for you. So right, so should we get on with some Christmas crafting? So as I said, this is me, and you can buy anything that you see today on this shop, on this link. So if you go to www.natalieoshea.stampinup.net, I will, once this video has finished, this Facebook Live has finished, I will edit the description. So if you're watching this on replay, you'll have a list and all the links in the description. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then you will also have the links and everything in there. But at the moment you haven't. So you'll have links to the exact products, but in the meantime, if you just want to go Christmas craft shopping, then go to that address there and you can shop by product type or occasion and all sorts of things like that. So go have a nose there. I mean, if anybody here, I know I don't normally say to you, but if you want to share this video, if you think that there's anybody that might be interested in watching live crafting, then feel free to share the video. Give us a thumbs up or a love heart, and that shares it more openly with the Facebook world as well, for those that might be interested. But should we get on? Because I always sit here going chit chat, and we're going to get on with some crafting. I'm going off the cuff. I haven't made this card yet, but I've got in my head what I want it to be. So let's change over to this camera here. I've got the greatest of lighting today. It is grey, drizzly, and typically UK weather here. So yeah, we did have a bit of blue sky for about 5 minutes this morning, but other than that, it's just rained, and it rained all day yesterday, and it's raining, it just rains, and it rains, and it's grey, and it rains, and but anyway, so today I thought I would use, I'm hoping my light that I have got is literally just kind of balanced. Oh, and I was just about to say, and I know I'm going to knock it over at some stage. I really haven't done, oh look now. How about that? That's better. So yeah, this bundle here, so I haven't used this yet at all. So this is a gift wrap bundle. So it is a stamp set and a coordinating punch. You can buy the items individually or you can buy them together as a bundle and save yourself 10%. But yeah, again, I thought this, I mean, obviously it is with the A Very Merry Christmas, says Christmas, but actually we tie bows on everything, don't we? And actually that's the only Christmas sentiment. If you took that out of there, what's to say that that is a Christmas set? So I think this is a great set for any time of year. It doesn't have to be Christmas at all. We are doing Christmas today, but in general, it doesn't have to be, does it? It can be birthdays, it can be anything at all that you like. So this is the punches. I went through them previously, but if you are new to watching this, this is how our punches come. They are locked on the back, so we unlock that and it goes from flat to like that. It just means that they can be stored flat, one on top of each other. They can be stored like that, and the picture on the end shows you what the punch is. But yeah, and it also means, there we go, you can now squeeze. And it just works like any office hole punch, but instead of 2 holes, or 1 hole, or whatever you use in your office, then it does a different shape, and that's it. So, I mean, let's show you that. So there we go, so that's your punch. So, oh blimey, that's a bit stiff because it's brand new. So there we go, so that's the bits that it cuts out. So you've got a bow, you've got a little bit that goes over there, and you've got a separate tag, which actually, if you look at that stamp there, if I stamped that, I'm not going to today, but you could stamp that and that will punch it out perfectly for you rather than you having to cut it out by hand. And I'm all for punching or die cutting things out instead of having to cut out by hand. But actually, do you know what? These aren't too bad. If you had to cut these out by hand, perhaps not that one so much, but these wouldn't be too bad. But you know, who wants to cut out by hand? Do fussy cutting when you don't need to. So as with anything, I always say that you should stamp before you punch. That was just to give an example, so I'll throw that to one side for the moment. Yeah, let's put everything to one side at the moment. So I'm starting with a normal Whisper White thick card. So this is a piece of A5 card folded in half to make an A6 card size. I have a piece of real red card, which is 5.5. All these measurements will be, oh, I forgot to say something I started doing last week. So I will have a PDF to go with this. If you, obviously you're watching here and you can see what everything is. But if you are somebody who likes the written instructions afterwards, then I will be uploading a written PDF. And you can either sign up to get that, or if you are in my Card Making for Beginners and Beyond group, which is for people that aren't demonstrators, then you can get them all in there. So each week I'm uploading the PDFs to there. I mean, last week was my first week. That's what I've almost forgotten this week. But again, once this has been finished, you'll find the details in the description, or if you're on YouTube, you'll find the details there. And you'll be able to sign up for a PDF, and there'll be images and instructions and a list of all the products that I've used as well, so you can see what there is. So yes, a piece of a real red card, purely because I've picked this pattern paper here. So this is out of the Heartwarming Hugs pattern paper, and I seem to use that a lot. I'm using Trimming the Town and Heartwarming Hugs all the time at the moment. So can I remove your name on the screen? Well, I can move myself up. There we go. So hopefully you can see. I do keep looking. But there we go. So that's what I've used. And I think that this pattern paper is great because, yes, it is red and green. So it does kind of say to your mind it's Christmas. But you know what? What's this Christmas about that? It's just a contemporary red and green pattern. So I think it doesn't have to be done for Christmas, but obviously that is where our mind goes. So before I do that, I am going to get, because I'm all about the stars, my team are the Stamping Stars, and so I'm going to use that tiny little stamp there to put some stamped stars on the background. Now these are photopolymer stamps, so they're see-through, so you can see where you're stamping, but you do need an acrylic block for it to go on. But I mean, once you've got acrylic blocks, you've got them for life. So it's almost like one of the best ways and most environmentally friendly ways of stamping, because this block I'll have forever and a day now. I've got a few. But there we go. So I just put that on there. It sticks, doesn't come off. As long as you add a little bit of pressure, it doesn't come off. And I am going to be using my Real Red and my Pear Pizzazz. So let's start with Real Red. Now, because this is a brand new stamp, doesn't matter whether it's a red rubber stamp or a photopolymer stamp, for some reason, well, I'll tell you the reason, I kind of ink it up and then I do that and I twist it on scrap paper. Because during the manufacturing process, there could be some oil and residue left on the stamp. But if I do that to start with, that's it. Then all the ink stays on properly. There's not kind of an oil or anything on it, which, I mean, there generally isn't, but I just get into the habit. And it just means that the ink stays even better the second time. So I'm just going to do some random stamping of this. I'm using first impression stamping. I'm saying random, it's not so random at the moment, is it? Look. And so first generation stamping is inking and then straight onto your card. If I was doing second generation, it would be stamping and then stamping again. So you can see there, I've got a slightly lighter image. Sometimes you don't want something quite as bold as this, but today we do, I want bold. And you get lighter and third impression, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. And you can get all the different kind of tones of the same. Right, now I have done my red. I will get my very, very mucky, so don't judge me, my stamp cleaning pad. In fact, I might not even show you. And do that, and that gets rid of, don't worry, these photopolymer stamps will stain. Doesn't affect the quality at all, doesn't mean the colour is going to come off anywhere else, just dry it off. There we go. And then I'm going to come in with Pear Pizzazz. So in my pattern paper, I have Whisper White, but the background is Pear Pizzazz, the dark green is Mossy Meadow, and the red is Real Red. So they're my four colours. So I picked Pear Pizzazz and Real Red. So again, let's just make sure that's lovely. So even though my stamp looks pink, it's not, but it will stain, and it doesn't actually seem to matter what colour you stamp with. It always seems to turn photopolymer stamp pink or red. La, la, la. I'm not going very random here, am I? I have to go a few off the page. Right, let's pick that up and have a look. So this is going to be going over there. So right, so while I've got that laid down, I'll put one there, one there. That looks all right. It's not supposed to be flooded. Might go back to red. And add a couple of red. I think we need a red kind of there, a red kind of there. Go red. Let's go red, doesn't matter. There we go, that does for me. So you can create your own background patterns, your own pattern paper if you like, just by doing random stamping. So that was Real Red and Pear Pizzazz that I've used there. So now I can actually stick down I'm going to stick my pattern paper. So all Stampin' Up pattern papers are double-sided. So that's the pattern on the back, a green gingham. Oh, nearly did the wrong side. And I like to use this Tombow multi-purpose adhesive. Multi-purpose because it can be permanent or temporary. Temporary if you let it dry, but permanent when we use it as quickly as this. But what it does do, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. So I am putting that on there. I never put it on straight. It just gives me that little bit of time to wiggle before it then, you can't move it. There we go. That's it, it's already sticking now. And this is going flat on my base card. So, here we go. I'm going to leave a little gap. Now I do tend to use my grid paper to make sure my card is straight because my eyes are wonky. So it just helps because then when I'm sticking this, look, I can line that line up with that line up and say I'm going one square in. And and then you know you've pretty much got it straight, which if you've got wonky eyes like me, is a good thing. And you could continue the stars over here if you wanted to. You could have covered the whole background, but I'm happy with that. So that's the basis of our base card. So what I've also done, if I don't knock over the light again, so if you know me, you'll know that my favourite dies are the stitched shape dies, and my second favourite dies are these ones here, which are the Stitched So Sweetly. Oh, she says. So I just put a sticker on mine, nice and bold, because when it comes with Stampin' Up, it comes like that, and that's great, but it's quite small. And in fact, I hold all my dies like that. I store them like that so I can flick through and see what it is. That's big writing for wonky eyes that don't see very well. And that's how I do mine. So Stitch So Sweetly, mainly because they're stitched dies, and I love a bit of stitching, adds a bit more detail. And often I will use these. So you've got some big scalloped rectangles or stitched rectangles for bigger images and central panels and things like that. So I use that a lot. You've got some littler ones which are great for sentiments and things like that. But you've also got all these as well. And we're going to be using these two outside ones to make, she says, I put it somewhere so safe. What have I done with them? Oh, there they are. So I've got a mossy meadow. So can you see now that I've got Whisper White card, I've done real red stamping, I've done pear pizzazz stamping. So the only thing I'm missing off there is the mossy meadow, and there it is. And then I've done that one because look how perfectly they go together. They all link in together, and I've cut a few spare in case I muck it up, which is quite likely, so who knows. Right, so that's what I've done. So if you don't know what dies are or die cutting machines are, these are dies. They have a blade, but they don't hurt you. You can't cut your fingers on them. And you run them through a machine which literally kind of puts weight on. And you can cut not just paper or card, you can cut all sorts of things. But as paper crafters, we tend to use it on paper and card. And so it just cuts out these shapes. And then you can see that it's got a stitched edge to it. So love them. Love them. So yeah, they're the Stitch So Sweetly dies. So a must have in your crafting arsenal, I would say. Now this is going to go here. Now obviously you could, because I always try to do this, if you wanted to change your card orientation, then you could do this. In fact, I might even do, we'll have a I'll show you both. So you could do it like this. I tend to put heavier stuff at the bottom because it kind of weighs it down a little bit, and then lighter stuff at the top. So I wouldn't probably, I mean you can, it's up to you, but that's heavier at the top and a little bit lighter at the bottom, whereas I'm a bit like that. But today we're not actually going to do that at all. I'm going to do it down here. Again, you could go central, but you'll see why we're going to go down in a bit. But I'm going to move that out of the way for the moment because I'm going to concentrate on this. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to bring my ink pads back in. And I'm going to do a couple of just going off the edge, she says. Ooh, in real red. Get the cleaner out. Ooh. There we go. You do need to dry that, so I tend to just go like that because it takes it all off. And a couple of my pear pizzazz again. Changing my mind, I might go Mossy Meadow for what I'm going to do in a minute, but for what I'm doing right now, there we go. That'll do. That will do. So, oh, where's my stamps? There's my stamps. So I'm going to have a very Merry Christmas because obviously we are doing Christmas. I've got to find that now. A very Merry Christmas is there. Now with acrylic blocks, you can have big acrylic blocks that are bigger than you need, and that's fine. But the only problem is with those is if you were to just stick that on there like that, first of all, it's not straight, so you've got to kind of stamp wonky, and you could have an uneven pressure because it's not in the middle. So if I stamp that, I could end up with stamping here, but this being off the page, or vice versa, because it's all unbalanced, it rocks. So what you really want to do in an ideal world is to bring a block that is more to the size of what you want. Make sure it fits on. Do you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to go long, or mucky long. And what I tend to do is I tend to put, again, use my grid paper. I put that on a line, and then I make sure my acrylic block is as straight as it can be, and I try and get it as central as I can. You won't be perfect, but you know, so be it. And this is going to go on here, she says. Probably should have done the stars afterwards. So I can use my ink pads, and I can do it all one colour, but actually I'm going to do two colours, and I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow actually, because I've done a bit pear pizzazz. So these are Stampin' Right markers. These are dye-based, water-based ink, pens. So they're not like the blends that I used last week, which are alcohol-based. And you can't do what I'm going to do in a minute with the alcohol-based pens. You can only do them with water-based pens. And again, it's a bit similar to the blends last week. This has got a thin end and a fat end, a brush end and a bullet end. So there we go. So you can see the difference in ends there. And depending on what you're doing, this will depend on what you do. It also means these are great for if you were to stamp an image. So if I was to stamp one of my images and say that star hadn't come out properly, I could use my tiny bullet end and just fill in the bits that have been missed. So they're great for sort of touching up your non-stamped greatly images. Done that a lot, especially with black. So again, if you do an outline for black and you just haven't got one of the lines right, then one of these black Stampin' Right markers and you're good to go. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, again, this stamp hasn't been used before. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go all over and use the side of my brush end to just put what I can down. I'm not bothered about it. I'm going to go like that, give it a twist, and that will get rid of any residue. Also cleans the stamp as well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour, I'm not sure how well you're going to see this, I'm going to add ink. It's showing a bit darker now. Oh, it's just started raining again, I can hear it. So my Very Merry, you see that? Just about, is in green. And I'm going to do my Christmas in red. And you could literally go round the whole thing, but I tend to, that shows better, doesn't it? Just be careful, because you don't want to get any of the red on the green, but you don't want to miss. I'm concentrating, so I can't talk and concentrate at the same time. You don't want to miss any of the design, but you don't want, or I don't want in this case, any of the red going on the green. So there we go. Now you might sit there and think, well, as these are water-based, that A Very Many may well have dried now, and that red, as I'm sitting here talking, is drying as well. So what you do, it's a very technical thing, you sit there and go, and you huff over it, which re-moistens it, and then you quickly come down, you put it that there, and you put as straight as you can, wherever you want. It's always pressure stamping live. Yay! Phew! So can you see now we have a Very Merry in Mossy Meadow. Hopefully you can hear me above the rain. And you've got Christmas in real red. And now I have stamped. I probably would have done the stars elsewhere, so I might just add a couple of random stars. And a couple more red stars, I think. But that's how, if you want to know how you get two colours on one stamp, that's how you do it. There we go, that'll do. Because I have gone over there, and I wouldn't normally go over there, but I'm good with it. I'm all good with it. So I am going to, hope that dries. Give it a bit of a, so that technical huff just re-moistens, the moisture in your huff re-moistens the ink and means that it'll do. How quick if you're super quick, you won't have to do that. But right, let's go. We are going, put a bit too much on there, I think. Never mind. So again, I'm putting this kind of so it's straight just because it gives me the best chance of being straight that I can be. And I'm wanting to make sure that there is a even border all the way around. This is flat. You'll notice I've used no dimensionals this week. So dimensionals are our term for 3D foam tape. And I haven't used any, but I'm going to. But as I said all the time, as you're making your Christmas cards, it's generally more expensive. The thicker they are, the more expensive they are to post. So bear in mind what you're going to do with these things, with these cards when you are putting layers on. So I could put that flat, but I am going to put some dimensions on it. So our dimensionals are hexagon shaped, and they've got paper on. Now some people do draw a line on these like that, so they know. Let's just show you. This is very clever. A bit too clever for me, to be fair, but let's do that. So if I'd put one there, I would know, because if I do that, I've got to take these backing bits off now, and I don't know which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. And if you've got loads, I mean, first of all, I'd say to you, use our foam sheets rather than individual dimensionals. But you can see, I can see there from a glance that I haven't done that one. So I can easily do that. So that's a little top trick for you, if you want to. So they are all off. I'm going to do that towards the bottom third. Again, make sure my card is straight. I really am wonky sometimes. And I think about there. I'm going to do that. You may sit there and go, well, that's nice. And we're going to add a few rhinestones. These are what's left of my rhinestones in this packet. So I am going to do some big ones because I think they can take it in these bits here. So they look like rivets on my panel. Can you still hear me all right? I'm hoping you can hear me all right because this rain is very loud now. So they are there, and let's just do another couple, but I'll do some baby ones. So I'll do one there, kind of fill in those gaps really, and always odd numbers, about to say even numbers then, always odd numbers. So I've got 4 on there at the moment, so I need a kind of 5th one there, I think. Look at that, bit of sparkle, but we haven't finished yet. You could absolutely finish there, but you know, I can't have a bundle without using the other half of the bundle, can I? So I am going to use, might have that one there. So again, I'm going to pick my nearest block without going too big. I mean, if you are on a limited budget and you can't get every single acrylic block there is, then get one this kind of size. This is our block, she says, D. So our blocks C and D are good all-round ones and fit a majority of things on. So you could go with those to start. That would be my to start with things. Right, so I could use my ink in here and go around that, but we don't want to be doing that. We don't want to be doing that. So there we go, look at that. Let's get rid of those. So again, it's a brand new stamp, so what do? Do that, give it a wiggle. This is why it's always such a filthy state. And again, you could stamp in black if you wanted. Tuxedo black works. But I haven't got black anywhere else, and I'd suddenly have to. Oh, I'm getting a bit. My real red is very inky. I'm hoping that will work okay and not leak. Yeah, it's just very inky. Wait for that to dry. So what shall we do? So I'm going to colour these in. I could use blends if I wanted to, but I am just going to use. I think I'm going to use the greens. Do I do the greens? I think, where do we go? So this bow is going to go on top of here. Let's have a go. I might go, might go, don't know. Let's have a look. Right. So I tend to like the blends because I'm a bit of a rubbish colourer. And sometimes with watercolour, with these markers, you can see where you've coloured the kind of marks, whereas blends are very forgiving. But because we've got these out, and they are a colouring device. I'm going to use them. And I'm using the paintbrush end, because you'd be here all day if you used the other end. And I'm just picking out the bigger ones. I'm going to see what I like after this, whether I just like the green. This is Pear Pizzazz, or I might add the Mossy Meadow as well. So they're nice big fat lines, so I'm not worrying too much about whether I go over them or not. Well, I'm being reasonably careful, but not. See, look, can't colour and talk at the same time. What have you been playing with this week? What have you been using? Well, Rachel, it's funny you should say that. Absolutely, as I say, that could just as well say happy birthday. Paolo's actually had a bark at the rain today, has he? So again, so how I use my punches, I always use my punches upside down, because if I was going like this, how on earth would I know whether I've got it in the right place or not? So by doing that, I can absolutely see. And what I want to do is I want to get it in the right place. Oh, that doesn't look too bad actually. I'm looking for an even border of white all the way round, she says. And I can, what I'm going to do, oh, she said, you see, look, concentrate. Right, I'm now holding that a little bit, so it's not moving, but it's not cutting out either, so I can give it a good look and go, oh dear. There you go, I'm happy with that. And now, I'm going to sit there and go, right, I shouldn't have put my rhinestones on either. Or I might just go there. So am I happy with that? Do I want the darker green? I'm thinking I might want the darker green actually. So darker green is Mossy Meadow, and I might see how my fine tip, oh no, maybe not. Could be there all day again. Oh, there we go. Are you with me? Is it exciting watching someone else colour? This is very thin. I obviously don't use this one very often. Got the concentration of getting within the lines. I've even got my glasses on as well. If I didn't have my glasses on, there'd be no chance. There we go. So how many of you made your Christmas cards? What are you using? What are you making? Tell me. Ah, Kim caught me live. Yay! So as I say, don't forget that I will be putting a PDF together of this, and you can sign up and get that for free. It doesn't cost you anything. Or as I say, if you're not a demo, you can come and join my Card Making for Beginners and Beyond Facebook group. You can either go and search that now, or as I say, when I update this, there'll be a link in the description. And then you'll have access to all the other PDFs. So there's only one more at the moment, but as time goes on, there'll be more, the whole library of different things. And as Rachel just said, yeah, absolutely, this card is yes, it's red and green, and that's what dictates the Christmas along with the sentiment. But actually, the whole design you could just take and use for birthdays or anything. Anything you're giving a gift for. The concentration. You bored yet of watching me colour? Almost there. Almost there, she says. So who started their Christmas cards? And say, what you're using. There, I prefer that. Look at that, groovy. I like that. Look. Gives a bit of dimension adding that extra bit, doesn't it? So, as I say, so we could have turned it that way. I've stuck that down now. And then you could have put this anywhere. But I'm looking to kind of put that at the top there. Just like that. So I'm going to use my dimensionals again. One may not be enough. I might have to layer two on actually. So let's stick one there. One there. Will these go on there? So we do smaller mini dimensions as well, dimensionals. So if these were too big, but they're not, they're just perfect, I would put those on. So is that gonna, yeah, and I'm thinking 2. So in fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double layer, because that is on one layer, but I've also got the card, so that's adding a bit of height. The dimensional under there is adding a bit of height. Another bit of card there is adding a bit of height. So in fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double dimensional. It doesn't have to be exactly on top, as long as it's somehow on top. There we go. So I'm going to take all those off. I'm going to leave the lower ones with just one, and do those upper ones as double. Here we go. So say that could be left exactly like that, like it like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know, we've bought a bundle. Let's use it. Is that going to, don't tell me it's going to need 3. No, 2 is perfect. Look at that. So you can see from the side there. There you go. So you've got 1, 2, what? Oh, I can't do this. What? 2 dimensionals each side. Oh, look. Wrong way, Nat. There we go. Can you see that? There you go. So that's it. You could put a little diamante rhinestone in the middle of that if you want, but actually I'm quite happy with that the way it is. So that is our card for today. And I seem to be 40 minutes. That seems to be me. So hello, I'm back again. So what do you think? They're really useful. I mean, this is a great card layout for any card. Not wrong side now. For any card anyway, and as I say, really doesn't have to be Christmas at all. So yeah, so hopefully you can take some inspiration from that and go and make your own card. And you make your own designer series paper on here. You make your own double coloured sentiments. It's all good. There we go. So, right, just having a look. So as I said, once I come off of here, you'll see all the links, and so you can sign up for PDF, you can join the card making for beginners and beyond. So it's not just for beginners, it's beginners and beyond, because I know there's some hardcore crafters on here. But if you're just beginning as well, then you can come and join and ask all questions you want to as well. So I share lots of information in there. All the PDFs are uploaded each week. So once you've signed up for 1 week and you're in that group, you don't have to sign up again. But if you're not in the group, or you are a Stampin' Up demonstrator and you just want the instructions, dimensions, etc., oh dear. And then you can sign up for that PDF. Oh dear. Otherwise, I'm going to leave you be. It is nice, and I do nice and easy, Ali. It's all about nice and easy. But yeah, but I say next week is all everything. The monthly card club launches for November, my bug off launches, the stamp camp launches, and other things as well. So lots and lots to tell you about next week, so I'm going to leave you be there. I hope you all have a lovely lunch. I hope wherever you are in the world it's better than it is here. And yeah, and I'll catch you next week, same time, same place.